Welcome back. They shut the live down, but I'm back. What's good with everybody, man? I appreciate everyone who takes the time to watch my show. I think they shut the live down because it's sensitive. It's a sensitive topic. So I think we need to just watch on the way we talk about things. So it is what it is. I'll wait for some people to get back in here. I'm waiting for Robert to hit the link again. I appreciate everyone who takes the time to watch my show. He's going to be in here in a minute. What's good, Shy Hooker? They shut the live down, man. It's Yeah, that's crazy, man. They shut it down because it's sensitive. It's a sensitive topic. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, it's a sensitive topic, but we're trying to help people. Like, what is this, man? They're trying to censor this type of stuff. Like, we're trying to help people. This isn't definitely not trying to hurt nobody. Um, that's what happened. YouTube sure sniped that one real quick. And then they let people slander Angel and her family every day and all day long. It's crazy, man. Jimmy, what's good? I don't know, man. I really don't know what happened. So we're back. We're gonna tell this story, and we don't.
Facts.
We don't care.
So we're gonna say this before we get started. We are not promoting suicide or self-harm. We are talking about the things that could happen if you do it. So YouTube, stop acting funky. We're not doing no nonsense.
We don't want anyone to ever hurt themselves. We're trying to avoid that situation.
Exactly.
So you woke up that morning.
Yes.
What was your day like? When you woke up that morning, what did you do?
So I woke up around 9:30. I took a shower. I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna kill myself, I might as well be squeaky clean and smell nice. So I got up, took a shower, enjoyed my last shower, and then I got
Yeah,
up.
don't say that word, man. We got to try to avoid that a little bit.
So
I just don't want them to shut us down again. That would be bad.
Right? I got out the shower, and then I went to Walmart to get the shotgun shells because my stepbrother had a shotgun, but he didn't have shells laying around. So I had to go get one of those shells. I went to Walmart. Surprisingly, the lady who was working at the gun shop area back there, I'm pretty sure I went to high school with her. But I don't think she remembered me, and I didn't really remember her, but she looked very familiar. And so high school it was. So I asked for the shotgun shells, and I went back home. I put 2 in the gun. Well, before I put 2 in the gun, I sent out 6 goodbye messages. I sent one to, wrong hand. Sent one to Megan, to Morgan, to Alina, to Ty, to Tony, and to Marcus. 6 people. People that I wasn't really saying goodbye to them, but it was more of, hey, I'm sorry I'm about to do this. Don't ever think I don't believe in you, etc. Continue with your life. Continue doing big things because I have so much hope and belief in you guys.
Rob Shy Hooker says, slow down a little bit. Slow down a little bit. Because you're breezing right through the story. It's going to be over before you start, man.
Right?
So during this time, are you emotional? What's going on with you? Are you just like normal? Are you?
I would say a little bit of both. More like mixed feelings. Because I knew I wanted to go through with it, but I knew I was taking myself away from friends and family who actually loved and cared about me. But at the same time, I couldn't even go to them. Because with my mom, about a year before, she was like, if it wasn't for you and your sister, she wouldn't even be here. So who am I to go tell my mom, who just told me that not even a year ago, to, hey, I'm going through this and that. I need your help, or I'm not going to be here either.
So you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself, and you're not trying to reach out to people who will stop you from doing this thing, right?
Exactly. So I listened to a podcast a couple of days ago from Kevin Hines. He was saying the hardest thing is to reach out to people because people care about you. We know deep down people care about us, but our head is telling us, no one cares about us. No one cares about us. Let's just go through it. For me, I was the same exact thing. I probably had those 6 people excluding Marcus, I probably could have reached out to all of them and be like, hey, I need help right now. Maybe not even need help. I just need you to listen to what I'm going through. Because I needed to get out all the emotions, all the dark thoughts in my head.
Yeah.
So they're not like bottling up inside of me. Because for me, I bottle up everything inside of me, and then one thing will click the bottle and the top blows off and everything blows up. So I've had to learn over the last 7 years, instead of bottling everything up, when something happens, digest it. I wouldn't say respond to, but like digest it and understand like what happened or what I'm feeling, and then talk about it with someone I trust and care about. So I have friends now, and I have people that I care and trust with now. To where if I'm going through something, I can digest it and I can let it out with them afterwards. So at least for me, I get where I'm coming from, and then maybe from an outside perspective, they can say, "Hey, maybe you're overthinking this too much. Let's think about it from like a normal perspective, and then move forward instead of, oh, this is not worst case scenario. It's not that bad. You just need to stop overreacting per se."
Yeah, some people are scared to reach out because they know that them people will stop them from doing the certain thing. And I want
Exactly.
people out there to know, if you don't have family or if you don't have somebody that you can reach out to, there are places. There's numbers you can call. One of the numbers, they have a new thing. You press
You can
988.
you can text that number if you don't feel comfortable talking to them.
Oh, you can text them. They'll text you
Yeah.
back.
Yes, sir. They'll
Yeah, you
text
can.
you. They'll give you like they'll text you for a bit, and then at a certain time they'll be like they'll push you down a different avenue to get the help you actually need. The
Yeah.
texting is more just let's diffuse some of the situation now, and then once you calm down just a bit, then they'll push you in the right avenue where you need to go.
Yeah, so they
But
have
for
that
like for
988.
for me, yeah, for me, I wasn't comfortable talking to just random strangers, so I would never call that hotline. But a couple months ago, when they released that pound 988 number, it for me, I would have loved if it was back then, because I can easily text what I'm going through versus talking it out with someone I don't have no idea.
Daniel, that's the word. That's the word they don't want us to say. Right
Exactly.
here. Right there. Um, and we're not trying to promote that type of stuff. We're
At
trying to
all.
help people and save lives if we can.
We're trying to
Um,
prevent that word.
yeah, trying to prevent it. So in 2020, there were an estimated 1.2 million people attempted to Epstein themselves. In 2020, 45,979 people did Epstein themselves. And it's the 12th cause of death in the US. Now it's about 4 minutes long. It's a quick it's a quick it's a quick little video of this man who explains how depression will seep into your life, and he explains on what happened with his situation. So we're gonna watch this quick video, and we'll be right back. So check this out, man.
When I was a child, I always felt as if I was different. In high school, I did come out of my shell a bit, but with that came the partying and the alcohol struggle. Episodes of mania, depression. Going off to college was not the right thing. I went to a party one night, and I just remember feeling there's no point in going further, in living anymore. And that night I decided that I was going to take my life. When I got the impulse, I acted on it. When I got home, I told no one. I picked up some jobs, and I got a job in a bank. I did meet my wife, and we had a couple of
He'll elaborate on that when we get back.
boys. The self-esteem started to rise, and the confidence started to go up. We had a life together. As I moved forward and got older, and my children got older, these episodes started to intensify again, and they were getting worse. The depressions were lower, the mania was higher, and that brought on the alcohol and the drug use. That's when I was first diagnosed that I was living with bipolar disorder. My brain wasn't thinking straight, wasn't thinking correctly. It was like there was a voice telling me my life, and all of it was bad. None of it mattered. And it was lying to me. But I believed whatever it told me. And so I planned my attempt. I thought the plan I had was foolproof and would work. It didn't. When I was in the hospital receiving treatment, I woke up and looked at myself pretty hard and said, it's enough. You can't do this to yourself. You can't live this way anymore. That was the moment I realized that I needed to start on a path to recovery. I had to stop drinking, and I had to stop taking drugs. Another key thing for me was embracing professional help. As far as tools I was given, it started with running. From running, I found yoga.
So I just wanted to show you guys that your mute button was on. Yeah. I just wanted to show you guys that to show you that it affects everybody. It doesn't matter you're white, black, any age. You know, depression can sink in, and you don't have to sit there and struggle with it. There's people out there that will help you, you know?
And he even said in the video, when you think you got a bulletproof plan, it ain't always bulletproof, because you don't take a shotgun to the chin and obviously survive that. When anyone think that's bulletproof, obviously my chin is bulletproof because I'm still here. So
you thought your plan was 100% and it didn't work out for you, right?
Exactly. Thank you, Jesus, for watching me that day.
Right. So, someone asked a question about what you were going through. Yeah. Can you elaborate on what was really stressing you? What was bothering you when you went and attempted this?
So, I've always been a smart kid, but our schooling system doesn't really provide that or prove that. Because I mean, I'm smart. I'm not an idiot. I'm not stupid. But my grades weren't the best. And since my parents are like real strict on like grades, get A's, B's, and C's, I wasn't that A, B, and C kid. But I knew I wasn't stupid. So that added up to one thing. My parents got divorced, and about a month and a half after my parents got divorced, my mom told me that my dad cheated on her with the woman he is currently with today. So with the lies and betrayal of that is number two. Because if my father is supposedly going to do that, how am I going to be able to trust anybody in my life? Like someone that I've known literally since the day I was born until this present time.
You're questioning everything.
Yeah. So I have trust and I have loyalty issues. So when people show me loyalty to me, I am greatly appreciative. At the back of my head, I'm like, okay, how long is this going to last? When are you going to turn on me and stab me in the back? So having those thoughts constantly, and if you read part of the story or part of the video he just showed, it says the mental illness says get negative thought processes. So instead of thinking positively in my head, majority of the thoughts in my head are negative.
What about now?
I've learned to force positive thoughts into my head. So now it's about 75-25 positive to negative. But back in the day, it was about 95 negative, 5% positive. And when I turned 16, with my grades being terrible, with the loyalty issues and trust issues in my family, and I wasn't amounting to what I wanted in my life. I wasn't per se good enough for me. I wasn't doing well in sports anymore. My grades weren't up to my standards. I wasn't happy with my life. So all the happiness per se every kid should have was just straight depression, was straight anxiety. If I can't do this now when I'm 16, how am I going to do this when I'm 25? What am I going to do when I'm 35? So I was having so many doubts in my head that I was just like, why am I even going to continue my life if everything I'm doing now, which is so far easy, is getting messed up and I'm messing it all up and I'm not being successful to my standards. So it got to the point where it's okay. Since I'm not happy with my life, I'm not being successful with anything in my life. And then I got into drugs, which was weed. And then I got into drinking, which is just liquor. Because beer is absolutely disgusting to me. So I would drink fifths of alcohol, fifths of Ciroc, fifths of Crown Royal, et cetera, et cetera. And if you don't know, alcohol is a depressant. So if you're already a depressant, I am currently 27. I shot myself when I was 20. I shot myself December 21st, 2015. It'll be 7 years this December 21st.
Were you drinking when you shot yourself?
No. I was
No.
sober that morning. I
You were
believe
sober?
I was sober that morning, yes.
What?
Yeah.
Completely sober?
Yeah, I think I smoked like the day before, but I didn't have any weed that Monday. So I didn't have no weed, I didn't have no alcohol. I think the only thing in my system that morning was some bowl of cereal.
Now, what time was it when you? Because you said you
11,
loaded.
11 a.m., 11:30.
So you loaded 2 of them, right?
Yes, I loaded 2 shotgun shells in the shotgun. I turned around, make sure I had the right shotgun shell, pulled the trigger, everything went smoothly. Bet. Next one I got
Is
set
it
up.
like a wooded area? Is it like a wooded area? Like
We lived on a golf course. So when I turned around and looked back at me, the only thing that was really in my vision was like a little birdhouse looking pole thing. So I ended the birdhouse, but everything behind the birdhouse was just an open golf field or golf course.
so you weren't
So
gonna
then
get
I
in
was,
trouble. The cops weren't gonna come from you shooting the gun out there, right?
I lived in a white ass neighborhood.
So
If I had the right Karen lady in my neighbor home, she probably would have called the cops and I would have got in trouble.
yeah.
But on the brighter side, I did have a neighbor home and I had some city workers in front of my house working on the gas lines. So
Now
when I
that's
pulled
what
when
I
I put
want to know. I want to know once you did this. I want to
Yep.
know the other side of it, the side that you don't know about. I want to know from what other people told you what happened, like how they found you and what all
So
transpired.
the last thing I remember is I pulled the shotgun shell. I stood up because I pulled a shotgun shell. I went back like this. I got up. I took 2 steps. I went 1, 2, and I fell over and blacked out. Woke up 3 weeks in the hospital. My homeboys said they were on their way because we were going to hang out that day. They were on my way. They found me with the gun on my shoulder, sitting on some steps on the deck, waiting for the paramedics. That is a bold-faced lie. Now, I have yet to find the first responders to save my life that day, other than the city workers. But when I grew up playing baseball in like a rec ball league, the dispatcher for Chesapeake happened to be one of the kids' moms that I used to play baseball with. So she is the one who actually got the call that, oh, we got a gunshot victim, a GSW, gunshot wound victim, in such and such place. Now, according to my parents, she told everyone that knew me, hey, Robbie just did this, Robbie just did that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So my parents were not happy with that at all.
They
Because they
probably
were
didn't
trying
think you were gonna survive, man. I doubt.
exactly. And they
Yeah,
didn't want everyone in our city to know, oh, Robbie just killed himself. Because, I mean, honestly, it's a little disrespectful. It's not your family. Do your
yeah,
job. When I survive and I start talking about it, then you can say, hey, I was the one who answered that call that day. And then you can go on and get your praise or whatever.
yeah.
It's not really your place to be saying, hey,
No,
so and so.
you don't want to say it. You don't want to say it, man.
Exactly.
We don't want our live to get cut again. Alt delete, right? The delete
Exactly.
button. Um.
Rewind.
So when you, so after when, who finds you? Who's the first person to like find you? And what was the reason they find you? Did they hear a shot? What was the reason they even?
It was, I think there were like 4 or 5 city workers in front of my house. The city workers came around the house because I didn't have any fences in our backyard. So it was just my house and like a side yard. And you could just walk around and get to the backyard. So after they heard the second shotgun blast, they walked around and found me. I believe it was my left next door neighbor who heard the gunshots, looked outside and saw me laying on the ground, and then also called 911 saying, "Hey, there's some kid out here with a gun. We just heard 2 gunshots go off, and there's a kid laying on the ground. Y'all should probably come out here."
Man, that's a blessing that she was there at that time. I can't get intimidated by no one. Ultimate, you already know, man. So during this time, are you conscious? Like, what's the last thought that you had before you pressed the delete button? Do you remember standing up? Do you remember after the shot went off? Do you remember any of it?
The last thought I truly remember was, "Thank you, God, that you're about to take away all my pain." And then a faint, like little blurry thought was, "Oh God, I gotta get up and get around in front of the house to get to these city workers so they can call the people I need to save my life." Because when I pulled the trigger, I was like, "Okay, I actually want to die." And then when I actually felt the gunshot and got kicked back, it was like, "Okay, I don't actually want to die." Sorry.
You're like, no. So
Yeah,
no,
I actually want to survive now.
he took one shot to make sure it was working, functioning properly,
Yeah,
Shy.
make sure I had the right size shells.
So he took one just to make sure everything was good, and then he did it. And yeah, you said you placed it. Where did he aim it?
So
It to
I
his
don't
head
know
or
if you can
what?
see with the sun. There is a scar here on my chin where I placed the barrel here, but when I pulled the trigger, the shotgun shifted some. So most of the scar is all right in here.
Yeah, so you had it like this, and when you
Yep.
pulled it, it shifted it a little bit. So
Yep.
then it came out right here and all
On the
right
right
here.
side.
Pieces were all in there, right?
Yeah. Obliterated my chin or my jawline. Obviously got a big old hole in my cheek, and then from here, am I looking in the right way? Yeah, from here to about all the way up here, they had to cut out my skull so they can go in and they can pick out the pellets in my head, in my brain.
That could have so easily been fatal, man. It could have been like, it's
That's why
insane that you survived. Like,
that's why I say now is like, if you're not spiritual, or if you're spiritual, or if you believe in God, or if you don't believe in God, you don't have the choice of taking your own life. When your time is up, your time is up. You don't have that power. It's just not in your hands. Because
yeah,
for me, I took a shotgun to the chin. Why am I still here? There's no way I should have survived that. But that's when I believed, all right, when my time's up, my time's up. And back then, my time was not up.
definitely not, man. So with everything you've been through, right? The recovery process, all the stuff you had to go through. What is it? Post the delete button, right?
Right.
With everything you had to go through, was it worth it? Was it worth the pain
Doing
and
it?
everything? Do you think it was worth to go through all that stuff you had to go through than to
Yes.
just go reach out and get some help from someone?
Yes. Because if I didn't do it, I probably never would have reached out. I would continue being in that cycle until I actually did it. But since I actually did it, I had no choice but to get the help I needed. So it kind of like sped it up, my process of getting the help I needed so I can recover and do better. Yeah, the last 7 years have sucked, and I have this big old dent for the rest of my life, but I'd rather have this dent and now the happiness in my life now than to have an even face and to have the brain issues and mental illnesses that I had back then.
Keep talking. Hold on one second. I'll be right back.
All right. That was lucky as lucky can get. Just be happy you didn't hit brains. That wasn't luck. That was God, and I did hit brains. There were about 3 to 4 pellets in my brain. Now, obviously, they didn't lodge deep enough up there to do serious damage, but
Hey
they did
guys,
hit my brain.
I have a special guest that wants to say hi to the audience.
Is
Go
it
ahead,
Jose?
man.
It is Jose. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, we got Anthony Ramundi in the building. He wanted to give a shout out to everyone. So, yeah, I'll give you a call back in a little while, Anthony.
Happy
All right,
Thanksgiving.
man. Later. So that was Anthony Ramundi. Just wanted to say what up to everybody. So, all right, we got another question for you, man. Can you ask Rob about his childhood and was it a positive experience?
I mean, what do you define positive as? I mean, technically, I had both parents in my life.
I mean,
It's
growing up,
just,
were you always depressed? Like, how was your attitude growing up?
I was a happy-go-lucky kid, but I probably wouldn't say became depressed until after my parents got divorced, where they got separated.
I mean,
So
would the depression seep in spells? Like, would it come and go? Like, was it all the time you felt like this?
you ever eat an edible where like you think, oh, this ain't edible, ain't nothing, and then like a couple hours later it sneaks up on you and you just shit faced high as hell.
Yeah.
That's how my depression was. When my parents got divorced, it was like, okay, I can handle this. It ain't nothing. A few years later down the road, oh shit, now I feel terrible. How am I gonna get out of this? How am I gonna get better? And then when my mom was like, oh, your dad cheated on you with such and such, and I was like, okay, that sucks. And then when he stayed with her, it made it terrible. Because now every time I look at her, I see this is the lady who ruined my life. This is the lady who ruined my family. Come to find out a few more years down the road, my mom told me that she made up that lie because she was hurt and didn't know who to blame. So now I was like, okay, I can't, not that I shouldn't have trusted my dad, I shouldn't have trusted my mom because she didn't know who to blame or she didn't know how to deal with her hurtness. So not only did she ruin that trust, but instead of, I wouldn't say blaming someone, instead of me actually being a human, but again, I was like 10 or 11 at the time, I didn't know who to handle. So I was blaming my dad for cheating on my mom when really that was a lie. And my mom just couldn't tell me straight up, we're not happy, we're getting divorced, we're going to go our separate ways. So for about 5 to 6 years, I was living in this lie that my dad cheated on my mom with such and such lady, which to this day, I still don't like the lady because she's one of those people where it's her way or the highway. And she's so egotistical and like self-centered that she doesn't hear nothing unless it has to boost her life up or you're giving her own flowers. And I'm not gonna give you your own flowers because you an ugly person, to be honest. Not even looks. Your soul and personality is ugly.
You don't have to like everybody. You know what I'm saying? You don't. Exactly. And like Finn Freak said, divorce is rough on kids.
Yep.
I mean, it causes all types of stuff, but the kids shouldn't try to take that responsibility. It's not the kid's fault that the parents don't get along. It has nothing to do with the kids most of the time. You know, it's just grown up shit.
And with that being said, the parents or whoever's in the divorce shouldn't be telling the kids at the time of the reasonings behind it. Whether they're true or not, two people aren't happy, they're going to go their separate ways. As a 10, 11-year-old kid, I ain't going to understand that no matter what. So why are you going to tell me some lie that my dad cheated on you? And then a few years down the road, you're like, oh, that was a lie too. I was just hurt and didn't know who to blame. Now you're fucking me up even more.
Yeah, because then you're like, damn, she's been lying to me this whole time.
Exactly. Especially my mother, who one person I'm supposed to be able to trust in my entire life, and now I can't trust you at all.
Yeah.
And now in the current day, I love her to death because she still is my mother, but it's like, I find it hard to trust you no matter what. You did all that for all those years and let me live in this lie after numerous times of me expressing to you how bad that hurt me and how bad that broken to me. And you couldn't tell me back then when I first told you, oh, that was a lie. How am I going to trust you now? Like, that's just, honestly, it's not possible. Trust is not a refill. Once it's broken, once it's gone, you can't refill the cup up. It's just gone.
Yeah, definitely, man. If people break my trust, man, I'm not the back and forth type. I'm not gonna. No, man, I'm good. Like,
you're not gonna burn me twice.
Yeah, they make scissors for a reason, man. Snip, snip, peace.
And the things I've gone through, I mean, I've gone through this with my family. So if I can cut off family, why are you acting so surprised when I cut you off? Like, my mom did this shit. She's probably the only person who I won't cut off because she's my mother. But there's parts of my life that have been cut off to her because she's not going to ruin that and ruin the progress I've made this past few years.
Shout out to Mike, man. Thanks for dropping by, bro. I appreciate you, Claudio. So now I want to talk about your recovery. What's the first thing you remember when you open your eyes? And what was going on around you? What were people saying to you? What was going on?
First thing I remember was, why am I chained to this bed? Why can't I move my arms? Because I guess one of the anesthesia medicines they gave me, I was allergic to. And instead of it calming me down or whatever, it would make me more aggressive. So not only was I trying to like swing and shit, I was trying to like pull out the plugs that were plugged into me, saving my life and keeping me alive. So they had to put mitts on my hands and they had to like chain me to the bed so I couldn't do nothing. So when I woke up from that coma, I was freaking the hell out because one, I thought I was dead, and two,
2 months later, right? It was 2 whole months later.
3 weeks later. Yeah, 3 weeks later.
3 weeks later.
Yeah.
So you were in the hospital for what, 3 months, right?
Yeah. So I went into the hospital December 21st, 2015. I was discharged from the hospital March 21st, 2016. 3 months, exactly 3 months later.
When you had the gun to your chin and you pulled the trigger, what did you feel? What was the feeling? Did you feel pain? Did you feel it ripping through your skin? Like, what was the feeling?
I honestly didn't feel anything. I felt like adrenaline to get up. So, like, I need to go save my life. So I got up, took 2 steps, and then I blacked out. So, I mean, the adrenaline kicked in, and I didn't feel nothing. Except the thoughts in my head of, I actually want to survive. Let's get the hell up and go survive.
So you didn't feel pain once you pulled it? You didn't feel any of that? So when you wake up in the hospital, are people talking to you? Like, do you know what, are they asking you? Do you know what happened? Or are they telling you?
I believe it was a little bit of both. I had doctors and nurses in there like asking and saying what happened. And then my parents were like saying and asking what happened. And I was like, well, I'm pretty sure I should be dead because I just tried killing myself. And then they were like, obviously you're not dead. You're in the hospital. And
the delete button, man. The Epstein button. We can't say that, man. They'll cut it. They'll cut us down. And if anyone out there is struggling with depression or anything, you can call 988 #988 and you can get the help you need, or you can call 1-800-273-8155. And they have people that will talk to you and they can work through your problems. All right, so during your recovery, right? How was that process? And like, how painful was that process? And what was it like?
I think the hardest part was going to therapy and actually talking about everything. Because I mean, I had to do physical therapy and then I had to do actual therapy where I had to talk to a psychologist and all that. Physical therapy wasn't too hard because I've been an athlete all my life, so I could just smooth sail through that. But the whole sitting down, talking to a therapist, trying to express what I was going through was the hard part. Because I mean, I could talk about it, but I couldn't understand why I'm feeling this way or why I couldn't get better at it or move past it. And luckily, my therapist was like an older version of me where we would just go back and forth, but he put me in my place and like, you need to stop acting like this isn't nothing to you. Because you didn't just shoot yourself for nothing. The pain of my family, the pain of the betrayals and the lies actually meant something to you. So you need to like let it out. You need to digest it and you need to leave it in the past. No matter how hard it is, you need to leave it in the past. Because they might have done that back then, but you are here now. I am surviving now. I can't keep living with those thoughts back then in the current given time. So it took about 3 years of talking that out, writing it out, and actually trying to digest it and actually come to conclusions that, yes, it did happen, but I don't need to keep living with it to this current day.
Yeah, like you could be walking around sulking around like, oh,
Exactly.
but there's
Oh, I
nothing
could
you
be
can do
enjoying
to
this beautiful
change it.
day.
Yeah, you
Exactly.
could be just like you're doing, man. And you have a great attitude, man. You have a positive attitude. And I'm really glad that we got to connect, man. I found a friend in you. And definitely I'm very happy that you survived and you're able to tell your story and that I can put you on my show and you could share your experience with other people and hopefully it'll help somebody out there, you know.
I think after everything I've been through, happiness was my only choice. Being funny, being joking, and doing all that good stuff is the only choice I've had. Because I've been depressed, sad, and miserable all my life, essentially. That why would I survive a gunshot to the chin to just continue being sad and depressed?
Yeah,
I might as well be
Mike
happy.
was asking, what did this kid do? He put a 12 gauge
Yep.
shotgun to his chin and he pulled the trigger. That's what
If
he
you
did, man. And he survived, bro.
if you Google 12 gauge Mossberg shotgun, like a hunting rifle, it'll probably be like the first one that pops up. There's a camouflage looking one. That's the first one that pop up, and that's what I put to my chin. But I mean, what
Insane.
I've learned essentially is like with me being happiness, I also have to spread kindness because I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what Mike's going through. I don't know what Finn Freak's going through. So if I say something ugly or something nasty, it could be the last thing that sets you off, and then you go and do what I did. So if I spread kindness, if I spread happiness, if I spread hope, instead of you feeling all miserable and down, you see this kid with a big old dent in his face being happy and go lucky and hopeful that, okay, if he can do it, why can't I do it? So I just want to spread a little bit of hope and kindness throughout the world so we can make it a better place for us all to live. Because it's a hard place to work. It's a hard place to live in this world. So if we can do our own little part of just spreading some happiness and joy and kindness, then it'll make the world just a little bit easier to live in.
Definitely, man. Here, I got a picture. You tell me.
Yes, essentially. That's more of like a hand one. But yeah, there you go. That one's more like it.
Crazy, bro.
Exactly.
You
Imagine that
you
under your chin.
you absolutely do not survive that. People do not
Exactly.
survive that. Like, so I
At
mean,
all.
you're a miracle, bro. For you
Facts.
to be there to tell your story to other people, maybe it can
Beautiful as hell.
snap somebody out of their depression, man. And
Right?
can people reach out to you if they feel the need to, like if they're like, damn, I really want to talk to this kid and tell him what I'm dealing with? Is it
Yes.
okay if they reach out to you?
You can hit my DMs at Stoveezy on Instagram, STOVEEZZY. And you can hit my DMs that way. If I feel like you're not a creeper, I might give you my number. But if you're a creeper, you can keep it in my DMs. But I will always help as much as I can to whoever they need it. But there's only so much I can do for you until you need to get more professional help. Because I am not technically a therapist. I can give you my personal experiences, but there's going to come to a point where my personal experiences are only going to help you and take you so far. So I can help you and calm down this or diffuse the situation just a little bit until you can move and get stronger and more confident in yourself to actually reach out to get help for yourself from someone who can actually help you. Now, I will say this: pills and medication is not the answer. If you feel like the medicine they've given you is not helping, you need to bring it up right then and there. Because I
Yeah.
was prescribed Prozac and it made my thing worse. It made my thoughts worse. So I won't say cut cold turkey, but you need to bring it up to whoever prescribed it to you and say, hey, this is making things worse. Let's either try something else or let's just try not using it at all. But don't go for, oh, you just need medication. That is
Hey
not
yo,
the answer.
hey yo, fistful. Get in the bathroom, man. Go scrub the tile, you bitch.
Yeah, you smell funky.
You smell funky. Go in the bathroom, bitch.
You smell you from over here.
Shit.
Ah.
Don't think I forgot how to use that get in the bathroom button. I ain't forget.
Forget about it.
Get in the bathroom. Forget about it. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord
I
split
absolutely
ya.
love this hand motion. You was like, forget about it. I was like, you know what? This means hell yeah, fuck you. I say
Yeah.
no, forget about it.
First step, admitting you have a problem.
Exactly.
Definitely, man.
Second step, doing something that makes you feel happy. Whether it's writing, whether it's coloring. For me, I love playing Ultimate Frisbee. So I'll be out here with some random ass people playing Ultimate Frisbee. You gotta find things that make you happy and make you calm and at peace in life. You can't keep surrounding yourself with negativity and expect better outcomes. No. Find
Well, you have
something
a
that makes
great
you feel better
attitude, bro.
and find something that brings peace into your life and then surround yourself in it. Thank you.
Definitely,
I appreciate
man.
that.
And I got a lot of interviews coming. No,
You need
his
to
Rob
drop
in
our
jail now.
pre-recorded video.
Yeah, I know. I still got that one. No,
Wait,
Rob is not in jail. Are you? Yeah,
I
they
have a
think
cell
you're on.
phone in jail?
Yeah,
You
you're on the
crazy.
rec yard. I interview
Yeah,
people from
about it.
jail, man. You didn't see the interview I did yesterday?
I saw that and I was like, I don't know how much I believe that. I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah, the dude's in jail with a cell phone, man. Hey, it happens.
He's not really in jail.
Forget about
He's
it.
he's bamboozling you.
Oh no,
You
he's
put on
really in
some jail
jail, man.
cell.
Go look at the headphones. Shit, they're see through. His little Walkman see through. All of it. Go watch the video,
I'm gonna
man.
have to watch that video.
Definitely. I
Yeah, my
appreciate
ass
you,
saying
man.
I'm never going to jail. Y'all got me fucked up. Hell no.
I appreciate you
Rob, are
taking
you
the
still
time.
involved with some kind of therapy? Claudio, my friend, no, sir. I have graduated that. I am now my own therapist, and I can move forward like that. Frisbee is cool. It's athletic now, but used to being a hippie of facts. Now I just don't smoke weed, so I'm not fully a hippie. I'm just a sober hippie out here playing frisbee with some old people.
Hey, man. Keep doing your thing, man. You got a great attitude, and I look forward to seeing where your life goes in the future. Keep up the good work, bro,
I
and
got two
keep your head
things.
up.
Things. One, if y'all want to follow some funny content, obviously follow Bill Stacks on Instagram, follow his YouTube, follow me on Instagram. I'm a funny motherfucker on Instagram. Number two, Mr. Stacks, you need to get your iPhone up. You need to make a goddamn emoji so we can have emoji conversations because them shits is so fucking entertaining.
The iPhone, what is it? An
Bitmoji
iPhone
thing.
emoji?
Emoji, yeah. It's like a Bitmoji but for iPhone, so it's your face. It's so
Yeah.
fun. I've been spending so much time on that shit.
And shout out to Jill, man.
it's
Can't
the little
forget
things.
Jill. Shout out to your
Exactly.
roommate, Jill.
Wow,
But
without
yeah,
her,
man.
I don't know where I would be.
Yeah, she's a
Fucking
great
love her
girl.
crazy ass.
Go check out the interview I did with Jill too. I'll put a link in the description of this video. Thank you for taking the time, bro. I'm gonna have you on again. I'll bring
Yes,
everybody
sir.
on. We'll all have a big live one
Party.
day. I'll have you, Jill, everybody, man.
And Jose. Can't forget about
Yeah,
Jose.
Zay. Shout out to Jose, and don't
Hell yeah.
forget
Get your merch.
Mugshot Monday.
Yep.
Mugshot Monday, and don't forget your merch.
Don't forget about it.
Don't forget about it. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I appreciate everyone who watches this show. Thank you so much. Hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Till next time. Peace.
Deuces.
Thanks, bro.
Yes, sir.